Hi guys, happy Monday. That was a really, really delayed happy Monday. So yeah, wow, holy crap, I love this pop art. My wifey, I love you so much. I love your letters. They are so passionate. I love them. And I will be calling you today. Alright, so are we familiar with the familiars yet? Literally with familiars? So I kind of thought about it last night, and I was thinking, okay, so I laid in bed, I got way too, to the point where everything was spinning again, and I don't know what's up with that. My tolerance is going down, so that's really good. And I kind of thought about it, and I was like, alright, so it's a part of us. It is another aspect of us, our familiar, so our body double, basically sending it out to do our work. And that's kind of what I thought. But then I thought about the actual animal. So there's that animal, that would be a spirit animal. So that's more Native American, I would say. A lot more Native American than actually having a familiar in the form of an actual animal. But then there's a ton of people that actually do have, familiars that are their animals. And, something that's going to do your bidding, something that is going to carry out a task that you kind of attribute it with, any kind of task, like my dog. He protects the house. Okay, so literally, in the literal sense, he would be a familiar, as in protecting the house from unwanted people and, that kind of thing. If somebody were to break in, he would go right for the ankles. So that's my, kind of my opinion on the house animal. But I don't think 99.9% of the time our animals that we have are not our familiars whatsoever. So it's just another spirit, our doubles that pop out in different aspects of ourselves, and it's interesting. So we're going to go on today with the fetch mate or fairy lover. So this is all part of A Deed Without a Name by Lee Morgan. It's an incredible book on unearthing witchcraft, traditional witchcraft. Little but jam-packed. So this is different to me, or I've heard fairy lovers. I've heard of people being is wooed by the fairy folk, the good folk, to become their lovers. So now another frequent type of familiar is the fetch mate, who in the past was known as a succubus or incubus, and by the church because of their propensity to mate with the human witch. So this kind of otherworldly marriage scenario seems to be quite widespread amongst witches in the past, modern witches and also shamans of other cultures. So yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, but so the first witch to go on record as having an incubus who had carnal knowledge of her was Alice Cateller of Ireland, who lay with her familiar Robin Ardison. So yeah, she was one of the ones that was she was persecuted for witchcraft, big time. She was persecuted for witchcraft, first woman in Ireland. So later in the history of the persecution of witchcraft, we find the sexual intercourse theme continuing, but usually being recorded as occurring between the witch and the devil. So this is historical. So many have argued that this is the preoccupation in the minds of the inquisitors. But as Emma Wilby and others like Graham Hancock have shown, this theme of marriage and intercourse with a spirit is common among other shamanic peoples around the world. And it's very, very common to have that type of interaction with the spirit. I think it is a part of the human experience in some instances. So this being said, the inquisitors certainly made it difficult sometimes to get at the true spiritual core of the experience. On one occasion, the spirit was even recorded as being the devil when a male witch outright told the inquisitor that his female spirit lover was the queen of the Faerie, which would be Titania. Usually we hear little about the nature of sexual relations with the human familiar. So we do, however, hear that the fairy witches of Sicily, I'm part Sicilian, were offered handsome men to have sex with. And we hear of other male witches who obtain their powers through an intimate moment with an otherworldly female. The first from the 1600s, the other from the 1100s. Wow. So yeah, we're really going back in history. So this is basically historical. Alright, so the first example, recorded by Nicholas Remy, is of a herdsman found guilty of witchcraft who, when asked how he had first fallen into the company of witches, explained that he had been seduced by a succubus. The herdsman said that he had fallen passionately in love with a dairymaid who did not return his affections. So one day, he was, in his own words, burning with desire in his solitary pasturage, when he saw what at first he took for the person of his beloved hiding behind a bush. So he ran to her and made violent advances and was repulsed. After a while, the dairymaid, in reality a demon, who had assumed the girl's appearance, allowed the herdsman to do with her body as he would on condition that he acknowledged her as his mistress and behaved to her as though she were God himself. So those are instances and occurrences that had happened way back. I mean, way before our time. So I mean, that's historical, and that's very common to have painting the picture of the witch laying in their one bedroom house, and having imps suckling on teats, to be more politically correct speaking, so I don't get in trouble. This is all historical and archaeological. So this is good stuff. Now, the second example, recorded by Gerald of Wales in the Middle Ages, is similar in that it begins with the man seeing his beloved. So this is interesting, and trying to couple with her. So I love these people's stories. They have amazing stories. So it is worthy of observation that there lived in the neighborhood of this city of legions in our time a Welshman named Malarius, who under the following circumstances acquired the knowledge of future and occult events, having on a certain night, namely that of Palm Sunday, met a damsel whom he had long loved in a pleasant and convenient place. While he was indulging in her embraces, suddenly, instead of a beautiful girl, he found in his arms a hairy, rough, and hideous creature, the sight of a witch, deprived him of his senses, and he became mad. After remaining many years in this condition, he was restored to health in the church of St. David's, though the merits of its saints, but having always an extraordinary familiarity with unclean spirits, by seeing them, knowing them, talking with them, and calling each other by his proper name, he was enabled through their assistance to foretell future events. I don't know. I've never been with a succubus or an incubus. I don't know that aspect, so I'm not 100% sure about that. I've never had an encounter with one. I've had encounters with psychic vampires, energy people that suck the life out of you every day. So, I mean, that's kind of... No, that's not even close to what this is. No. Alright, so, now here we see two female fetch brides. One probably in half-fetch beast, half-anthropomorphic form, judging by the description of rough and hairy, so skilled at working through the second skin of the human beloved and utilizing that desire to draw the male witch towards communication and subsequently infecting him with, or perhaps just awakening him to his otherworldly vocation. So that to me would tell me that these people are being woke up. Literally, it was a point in their time that they woke up and they were, they had realized that, you can go into another world, another dimension, and not have to worry and not have to freak out. But they did, so it just kind of makes it, a bad rap. But, so there are other examples of partial or partly beast-style encounters between witches and their spirit lover, where the line between fetch beast and fetch mate seems to blur. Now, the Idirk was one such creature who frequently appeared with horse's hooves, similarly to the devil himself, who was often described as having a cloven hoof, and the witch Margaret Lauder claimed that her devil came and lay with her in beastly manner while her back was toward him. These could be literal, spirits, just coming and just trying to, wake people up and to, say, hey, you have the power, you have power within you. Use it, utilize it. So, utilize your senses, travel, learn, expand your mind, expand your consciousness. So just like shamans in other countries who experience reproductive experiences with their spirit brides or husbands, exactly. Andro, man of Aberdeen, wow, I butchered that, Aberdeen, Scotland, impregnated his fairy bride with numerous children over the years. Andro man appears to have been the husband of the Queen of Elfheim, with whom he had lived for 32 years, and by whom he had several children. So what follows are some testimonial from modern witches about their experience of the fetchmate or fairy lover. So here comes a few from male witches, and this is, something I've never really experienced, except when I was writing my book, Love Letters from Lucifer. I really experienced that. So I guess it's a way of freeing oneself, this aspect of familiars. This one says, there were times on these nights I dreamt of mating with my fetch beast. Sometimes we were both dogs, so they both took on the animal form. Sometimes she was human, but I not. Other times we were both human. Sometimes we would both be something in between. It was carnal and potent and horrific and awe-inspiring all at the same time. A male witch. So, here's another one. It was always quite clear to me that the spirit man who came to me all my life took a romantic interest in me, but it wasn't until well into my 20s that he initiated a sexual encounter with me. The first time I was in a half-sleep state and a very tactile sensation of him, a cool, tingly sort of feeling. Now, as time has gone along, he says my strongest encounters with him have been in lucid dream states and visions where he seems to ejaculate fire into me. Knowledge, light, and beautiful images are passed between us via our foreheads. Sometimes he changes his shape, but I always know it's him. He can communicate with me without talking at this time, and sometimes he shows me the world through his eyes and will look through mine. Another modern witch. That's a modern witch. Doesn't say male or female, so. Some of these stories are just incredible. So I'm hoping this is kind of helping to guide, coming from historical witchcraft. So this is another one. Now, when I am with my fetchmate in the other world, he is very much a man. I do not experience him as cold or hot, but he is wholly solid. During sex with him, it is not uncommon for him to shift back and forth from man to wolf, sometimes both at the same time. We bite each other a lot. At when I feel him bite me, even if he appears the man, I feel as if teeth are the wolf's. It's kind of, it's different. Often sex is initiated when we were both in wolf form, and it's kind of different because it kind of sounds like bestiality, but it's not. So it's just that, animal instinct, the animal inside of us. We are both in wolf form, and it's generally very aggressive, almost like fighting. Now, when climax is reached, though it is not like normal experience, there isn't a him or a me, and there seems to be almost complete formlessness between us. Visually, I feel like I am inside a fire, but I am also part of that fire. Afterwards, it is like a settling back into form. I do not know that we speak at this time. Where'd I go? And for the most part, there is an overwhelming energy exchange, and I feel very empowered after. After interactions like this, I find I have the most vivid dream visions, and often answers to the questions are revealed to me in this way. I sleep very soundly, but I have a heightened ability to recall dreams and visions. So, when he comes to me, here it's different, but ultimately has the same exact effect in reverse. Sex is like an offering to him of my vital force, and I find as I reach a climax, I have experience of him touching me or grabbing me. At this time, he feels cold, and though I am surprised how I feel him, he is not solid to me, as he is in the other world. He becomes increasingly clear to me, though. and especially I can hear him, and though I am in control physically, he does tell me what he wants and what I should do. Often as I reach climax, I'm shocked suddenly by the feelings of being entered by him. All these times I sort of have an internal vision of him and myself together in the room, as if I have his perspective as well. After I feel physically drained and he seems to be always encouraging me to eat something, his voice and presence in my home after is very strong, and I am able to talk with him for a long time. I can take notes and write things down, but I find spirit flight very difficult after this. This is a female witch. There's so much. I mean, there are so many testimonials about this. I mean, it's just crazy. It is really crazy. We have a couple more, so they're pretty interesting and interesting encounters. So this one, but the spirit who approaches an individual is not always of the opposite sex. Not always, no. It's very true. So, as can be seen from the example of the poet whose inspiration is recorded under the entry, Owen Diane. Other than this spirit sending a hawk to enter the poet's body, there is nothing amorous in the normal way about this encounter, other than the man's recollection that he was beautiful, but today freed somewhat from the persecutions and prejudices of the past. We find that the romantic spirit mate does not always appear as a spirit of the opposite sex. So here's one. This is a male witch. I know my fetch mate. Ouch, bit my tongue. I've known my fetch mate before I knew what that even meant. Even after I knew what a fetch was, I still had no idea what I already had been in contact with, because I was looking for an extremely female being, an exclusively female being. I've dreamed about him, some man that knows me, and I know him, even though I don't see his face. But at the same time, I do. He shows me things that are useful in every day and shares secrets. He then somehow places that skill inside of me so that I can take that skill with me outside of this dream, and then we had sex. One time he appeared to me as me. I was looking at me, but I recognized him. Again, we have sex. I use quotes because I don't think it was physical sex, more like two psychedelic ribbons wrapping around each other like DNA. Male witch. So, it's different. So once again, it's clear between older and more modern sources that these encounters range from ethereal and psychedelic to intensely primal, that the spirit is usually, but not always, of the opposite sex, and may mix human and animal characteristics. We have Baphomet. So, or change his or her shape regularly. It is clear that these spirits take an active interest in the sorceress cultivation of the witch, as sex almost always involves the regular transference of fire or power to the human witch. So it's very interesting. Now this transference of fire is linked to the very deepest mysteries that relate to our origins. And the reason why these spirits seek to know humans. Sexual vibrations, or visitations, have always been known to be sent by a sleeper to another living human, such as with the Alpha and the Mara, or the Alp and the Mara. Female witches have even been known to appear in the double of a man known to them to sexually harass another sleeping female, though how it was known that it was not the man who it appeared to be is uncertain. So it's very, very different. Very different. We have a little more amorous devils, so we do have that coming up, which is it's really interesting stuff. So yeah, I would just figure out, what characteristics, your local, look for your locality where you are. What is the most kind of common animal? What do you resonate with the most? Just what do you resonate with the most? We'll do coffee talk, guys. So what do you resonate with the most? Can you, go into the astral realm, or can you go into a trance state? And can you kind of see your fetch? Do you know what it is? Do you have any clue what it could be? Do you have any links, any synchronicities? So, you could write it down in your book, your grimoire, on a piece of paper. I wish to find my fetch. Okay, go into that with focused will and attention and see what happens. Go on a little journey in your mind. Create a visualization, a guided meditation. Tape it on your phone for yourself and play it. if you have to, copy it and, I use, I don't know what I use, some kind of editing recording app that comes on the iPhone 11, whatever, plus big, extra, whatever that phone is. You can do that. So it's interesting. It's really interesting. Wow, I froze up there. What is going on? Why can I not get to my YouTube for comments? So yeah, I'm very, very excited. I'm just, this whole, having a familiar is just, I love it. I love that idea. But yeah, it's definitely not our own animals. I mean, certain animals, I'm sure, we have psychic connections with them, but that's still different. I really honestly think that the fetch, which is our animal, our familiar, is inside of us. So it's something that comes out. We send it out to do our bidding, and then it comes back into us. But then we have, the fetch brides, we have the fairy lovers. So that's kind of going, it's still in the general grouping of familiars, but it's kind of, going out of, the box just a little bit. But yeah, very, very, in traditional witchcraft, it's very good. It's a very interesting stuff. Very interesting. It's very primal. It's very, very, dirty. You get your hands dirty in traditional craft, so. Alright. I wonder if there's another update coming from my computer. Oh, there we go. Hopefully, maybe. Okay. Let's see. There we go. So yeah, it's really fascinating. It's a fascinating subject. Okay. Let's see. Everything is going very slow. Okay. Maybe I can get to the comments in like 2 years. One would think, YouTube's been really good at weeding out the stupidity, the comments, the ones that aren't relevant to anything. Alright. ryanjespich? What up, Ryan? Hey. Hi, Ryan. How are you? I don't like to say my own name. Alright, the person's saying hi, you. Alright, hey Ryan, I just sent you a message to Twitter. Thank you, I got it last night and then I fell asleep. I showed my mom the video about the reading you did today and she told me I should try channeling. What do you think? I honestly think you should. It seems rather complicated, but Ryan, I just want to say thank you for being such a wonderful help and inspiration. Hope that tomorrow offers you nothing but love and happiness. Aww, I would try it. Chance channeling, get yourself into like a little bit of a trance. You could trace the Troy stone, trace it, get yourself into a trance, and then try to, place your focus and attention on what you want to contact, who you want to contact, or if it just happens naturally, let it happen. I would try it. So yeah, I'm loving what you're doing. I love it. And yes, we have got to talk. Alright, Mary. Hi, Mary. Love the subject of familiars. I do too. Are you feeling better? Oh my god, I was so worried about you. I woke up at 4 a.m. and I seen that you posted something about it's happening again, and I was like, oh, I love you. My Gustavo, my brother, hi. How are you? Alright. Soul of Thorns, where did you find that? I'm not sure. I don't remember. Alright. Ooh, the Partial Sun. You're making spirit powder at the moment? I need to make that. I love that. I love everything in her book. It is incredible. It really is incredible. I hope the other video helped you. I hope these videos are helping you about the familiars, though. So, Lady Witch, hi. Cindy Miller, hi you. Santa Muerte on a Harley, Brent Edwards, Lord Welb, Carola Lacusta, hi love. Jay Phoenix, hi my bro, I love you. Diane Hannon, hi love. You're so cute, I love you to death. Alright, who else? Alexandra Hill, Ava Lagasse, hello. Susie Civiter, hello everybody. My Queen of Negativity, hi you. J. Anthony W, Alchemy of Life, my Kate the Witch, I love you so much. Alright. Okay, I don't want to edit, so. I love you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Everybody have a great Monday. I hope this helps on familiars. You know, we're getting historical with it too, so we have a lot of information jam-packed into 25 minutes. So, I love you guys all the way from Venus, all the way back down, and I will see you guys tomorrow. So, please stay safe, stay healthy, and yes, don't be going anywhere on me because I will freak out. I love you guys very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.